Alright, so today I have for you a BMW X1. This is a 2018. You'll see some styling changes from the original BMW X1, which came out quite a few years ago. You'll see it mainly looks more like an SUV now than it does kind of a long nose sedan slash car. It performs like a car, but it's just kind of like an SUV, so it's kind of interesting. You'll see the new styling cues, the bigger grille, which is a new thing from BMW. BMW's always had prominent grills. This is a pretty standard base model option car. Sorry it's a little dirty, it's been snowing here in Michigan. This got the sportier wheels, but it's got the chrome trim. So these are a bit nicer wheels than the last generation had. This is the 2.8i, so it's a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo engine. This is BMW's kind of brown color. Special thanks to BMW Traverse City for the car. It's a bit dirty. So a couple cool options here. Automatic liftgate with quite a bit of storage inside, so you'll see it's got some cubbies over here. Got another cubby in here. Fold down seats. You got this cover here to keep your cargo safe so no one sees it. Does not have an additional tire, spare tire in here, but quite a bit of extra space for more storage, just in case you need it. Doesn't have the foot option at all, which is a special add-on. Going around to the back seats here, you'll see it is optioned out with the white leather trim. There's a pie. Quite a bit of space. The seats do fold down. You pull here, fold the seats down, pull it down right here. The center goes down as well, so it's 3 separate seats. Pull them down individually. Push back. Now, I'm 5'5". I have a decent amount of leg room. Everyone in my family is pretty short, so leg room to me, a 3 Series feels like a 7. Also, it's got the panoramic sunroof. Wood trim. You also have the ambient lighting package, which is really nice. It's fairly simple in the back. There's no options for heat or anything back here, just off and on. Pouch for sticking storage. Alright, entering the front of the car. This does have comfort access. So you have your pretty standard door panel from BMW. Power seats with memory. I don't like the styling of these seats, or they have a bit more bolstering than the older E90 style seats. These, I don't know, it's kind of weird. They just have a weird feel to them. They kind of look like toilet bowls. So here's the interior. BMW's always kind of kept a minimal style interior, but kind of simple, elegant, very business oriented has kind of been their brand. If you look, you'll see that they have iDrive. You have the updated steering wheel. You end up having the cruise control options, up and down for speed, different modes, driving modes. You also have phone, voice. You also have your volume controls. Pretty standard airbag. You'll see for the power with lights, you'll see you have automatic, lights off. You have kind of during the day, you have your fogs. There's a center cluster. Now you'll see also in here we have heated seats, which is another option. Very useful for living in Michigan. It does have the heated steering wheel, and I'll show you where that is. It's over here on the side. There's a button. Hit this on the left side. Steering wheel heating activated. It also does have a CD changer, which is kind of outdated, today. But it does have dual zone climate control, which is nice. So turn that up. It does have kind of this strange gear selector that I don't think is in any of the other BMWs. The X1 is kind of unique, where it's got this weird, it's almost like, it's not like their newer drive selector. It's kind of this older style selector. Put that back in park. Anyways, so you have Eco Pro, which you'll see will switch over, and then there's an Eco setting when you're driving, and you're supposed to keep it in between that line. And it turns off auto stop start, so auto stop start should work. You have Sport, so it goes back over to comfort first. Comfort mode. And then there's Sport. Sport mode will open up some gauges, and you'll see here, if I go to those gauges, I have to close the error messages real quick. I click on Sport again. Sport displays. Then you'll see. Kind of nice. It's the BMW X1 is a great car if you want something kind of economical. Gets about 30 miles to the gallon. You have traction control off, parking assist. Those are your parking sensors. Hill to sun control. Parking brake, lame. You know, I like the classic for drifting in the snow. Your new iDrive controller. It's kind of an older style. It's not like the new one where you can kind of draw on it or use your hands to, you know, swipe things over around. In here you have some storage. More storage in here. You also have an auxiliary input with USB. In here you also have a cigarette lighter. This swipes down. Let's kind of close this up real quick. Closes like that. Menu. Click in. First you have your media radio. It's got satellite radio, FM, AM, CD, and you can go through all the different phones that are connected USB input. Communication, you have your phone. Navigation. The updated iDrive map is quite nice. Of course, it's the newest version. This does not have the technology package, so the screen isn't as wide. I'd highly recommend getting the technology package. If you're gonna go all in with technology in a new car, definitely go for the fully optioned out technology you can, because it's just the older style you get, the smaller screens you get, the less resale value you have later. So on here you see it's a little bit scrunched on the updated technology package. It's a lot wider of a map. The screen's a lot bigger. So this is in perspective mode. It reacts quite well. There's less lag than there has been in the past. Going back to the menu, you'll see My Vehicle. In My Vehicle you have vehicle settings, iDrive settings, different things, technology in action. So it's like eco mode, vehicle status, driver profiles. If you go to vehicle settings, you'll see lighting. And you'll see exterior lighting, interior lighting. So you have the classic red, or you have the modern white. Box compartment in here. Very typical. Nice thing about this car is it's a little different than a lot of other BMWs where there's not many cup holders. The Germans do not like doing anything other than driving when you're driving, which is, you know, good mentality to have. So for the Americans love cup holders. So of course we have cup holder pocket on the side, 2 cup holders here. We have more cup holders over here, so 1 there. Also, you have plenty of space in the back. So you have cup holders back here in the rear, another cup holder on the other side, and then when you pull that down, cup holders will pop out. Also have the sunroof. You also get 228 horsepower at 5,000 RPM. Not bad for a small SUV. It performs pretty well. It's about 3,500 pounds curb weight, and I think it does its job well for what it is. Alright, so starting off, throw the car in reverse, you'll see we have a backup camera with parking sensors. You'll see it'll react based on where you turn the steering wheel. Alright, so throwing the car in the drive. First, you'll see that we are in comfort mode. Initial impressions, the electronic steering is pretty decent. I think it handles pretty tight, you know, especially since it's classified as an X1 or 1 Series type of vehicle. So the steering is going to be a bit tighter than like a 3 Series or a 5. I think the engine sounds great for a 2-liter 4-cylinder with 228 horsepower. So we're just in comfort mode right now. Michigan roads are pretty bad, but I'll throw it over in sport in just a second here. Handles quite well. There's not much play at all on the steering wheel. So in a second here, I'll throw it over in sport. Take it through these turns, throw it over to sport displays, put a shifter over into sport mode.
I think you got paddle shift too.
No. There are no paddle shifters in this model, since it is the base. If you end up getting the Sport package or M Sport package, you get paddle shifters with the car. Anyways, with the M Sport package, you actually end up getting like some other Sport Plus feature which turns off traction control, or some option where you can have traction control on but a couple of the settings off. With just the regular Sport mode, you won't get all those fancy features. You won't get the nice M badges. But other than that, I mean, I think for the BMW X1 as a base vehicle, you get a lot for what you're initially paying for. You know, there's a lot of other cars in the market that are around the same price, but I think you get a pretty well performing car with a BMW logo on it. So I'm gonna throw it over into manual sport. Back in the first again. So yeah, it does have a lot of get up and go power for an SUV, especially in second. Here's the braking power. Pretty good stop and go. Classic BMW brakes, handles quite well. So overall, if you're looking for a SUV, I'd recommend, if you're looking for something economical, looking for something kind of have fun, you know, when you want to get up and go, or when you're looking for a vehicle that's pretty low cost, but you get a lot for what you're paying for, I'd highly recommend the BMW X1, especially if you live in the city. Great car, it's got a lot of storage space, you can fit a lot of people in here, you get a lot of options for, you know, only $36,000, $33,000. And special thanks to BMW Traverse City for letting us make this video. Now we're going to drop it off for a BMW 550.